a dat, Erik Eibert.
In 2004, the Hubble telescope focused on a small, unremarkable part of the sky, about the size of a pinhead held out at arm's length. What it found was not just empty space or a few lonely stars. It found an endless sea of galaxies, as far as the eye can see. Each one contains 100 billion stars and solar systems. But I don't just want to talk about astronomy today. I also want to reframe the climate and sustainability conversation right here. Reframe in the sense that amidst all of the vastness out there that we may one day, or our descendants one day may reach, there's only one place that we have access to right now, and that's here. That's home to all of us. Today, I'm going to cover two things. First, why our planet becomes more and more polluted every day. And second, what each and every one of us can do about it. As economists like to say, we respond to incentives. We're utility maximizers. We're rational in the marketplace. Some of us here. As a consumer, we want the best product for the lowest price. If we're a corporation, we want to sell you that cheapest product, but with the highest profit margin. Unfortunately, it's almost always cheaper to pollute. So where does the environment come into that equation? As a company, my incentive is to protect my image, so that might involve the environment a little bit. Following the EPA's rules, maybe a little bit. As a consumer, what incentive do I have to dig through the garbage and pull out the recyclables? Am I really going to try to find a parking spot at Whole Foods? Or that extra $100 I need to buy organic food? But the long-term implications of this way of thinking is bleak. Garrett Hardin proposed an economic system he called the tragedy of the commons. In it, each person acting under their own self-interest, but using common resources that we all share, slowly but surely deplete those and eventually end up hurting everyone. But can we really break the chains of this economic system that we find ourselves in and also drives us internally? Yes, and this is where we all individually save the world. But we have to think differently. Not like consumers, but like stewards who are fortunate enough to be given this earth and handed it down to us, and as borrowers will soon pass it on to the next generation. A growing body of evidence shows that products and things give us happiness, in fact, but for very short bits in time, and then we need more. Things that create long-term happiness are goals, personal fulfillment, personal connection. And we can fulfill that need by taking care of the earth as we would our own child. You see it all around us. It's the guy driving the Prius next to you. It's your neighbor planting a garden. It's the artist who creates a masterpiece from what was garbage on the street. We can all agree on one thing. We're lucky beyond words to be here, and luckier still to live in the only sliver of time in all of humanity that we have this around us. We have centuries of scientists who passed down calculus and who studied geology and the climate and told us how it all worked and gave us mechanisms to communicate and to build and to act. In 1990, after traveling for 14 years, the Voyager spacecraft, traveling 40,000 miles an hour off into space, finally got to Saturn. And as it did so, it briefly turned back toward Earth and took what I would argue is the most humbling and uniting image ever taken of our planet. That's Earth. About this image, the late astronomer Carl Sagan said, "Look again at that dot. That's here, that's home, that's us. On it, everyone you love, every human being who's ever walked the earth, on a note of dust, suspended on a sunbeam." Each and every day, we make decisions that reflect back on the earth. The companies we support, the products we buy, the example we set. Let's take a moment, each and every day, to think again about that dot. Madam Toastmaster.